All right, good morning, Mathemaniacs. Here we go. We are going to multiply today something a little different, a new variable to throw into the situation. We're going to multiply a mixed number times a regular fraction, non-improper, and use some of the tricks that we've learned so far and some of the learning that we've done to help us with this. Nothing is different than what we did with when we multiplied two mixed numbers together, except this one we actually have less steps. I have the same steps in blue at the top that we need to do. My first one that I have to start with renaming my mixed numbers to impropers. So when I take 2 1/3, I multiply my denominator times my whole number, and I add my numerator to the mix. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 becomes 7. So my new numerator becomes 7. My denominator stays 3. And I can bring down the multiplication sign, and I can bring down the 3/5. I don't have to do anything to that because it's only it's a regular fraction, and it's not improper or it's not a mixed number. So I multiply straight across like we've learned. I have 21 as my numerator. 3 times 5 is 15. And when I take my numerator now becomes, my numerator is 21/5. So all I have to do is rename this to an improper, but I can reduce this before I do anything else. So how I can take and reduce it. So I'm going to reduce the top by 3 and the bottom by 3 to follow the golden rule. So if I take 21 divided by 3, I'm going to end up with a numerator of 7 and a denominator of 5. Now that's a lot easier to regroup into a mixed number than 21/5 is. So 5 can go into 7 one whole time. Subtract that 5 on the top. My numerator becomes 2. My denominator becomes 5. Now, what we're going to do next, I'm going to scroll up, and what I want to do, I'm going to try to scroll up. There we go. I'm going to shrink my screen a little bit, but I'm going to multiply a whole number times a mixed number. Because I don't really have to do anything hugely different in this, except I have to change and make this whole number into a fraction. Now, if those of you remember, we did this a while ago when we were multiplying, or when we were adding fractions. I can make any whole number into a fraction by simply putting it over 1. Anytime I do that, I don't change the value, but I do give it a denominator, so now that I can follow what we've learned to do before, and I have a new multiplication sentence of 4 over 1 times, and I'm going to convert this to a mixed number to an improper fraction. 3 over 2, or 2 times 3 becomes 6, plus 1 becomes 7, and my denominator stays a 2. And I have, on the top, I have my numerator becomes 28. My denominator becomes 2. Whoops, that should be a 2. Becomes 2. Now the cool thing is that this actually works out to be a whole number, because when I have 28, and if you remember, we're going to get into this later in division, that this division line actually, or this fraction line actually means division. So I can take 28 and I can simply divide it by 2, and I have a whole answer of 14 wholes. So going back to my beginning problem, if I took 4 times 3 1/2, I already know that 4 times 3 is 12, plus 4 halves more equals 14. So my answer does make very good sense. So, all right. Thank you, all you math maniacs. I hope this helps. Have a day, and keep fractioning.